Today, I'm going to be showing you how to cook another one of my great recipes, and it's Jamaican style curry chicken. What I have is 2 pounds of cut up chicken that I got from the grocery store, from my butcher. These are the vegetables I'm going to need: 1 onion, green pepper, 2 Idaho potatoes. I like to use a couple of carrots, scallions, fresh chopped ginger, going with the minced garlic, a little bit of sage, of course the curry, onion powder, garlic powder. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clean my chicken and get all the fat off of it. So let me prepare that at this time. Now that my chicken has been cut and cleaned, I trimmed all the fat off of it so it looks like this. I don't like using a lot of excess skin. I'm not big on skin and fat. So I trim all the excess fat off. I leave a little bit of skin, and I use any parts of the chicken but the breasts. I use and the backs. I use the legs, I use the wings, but I love the drumsticks. Lots of flavor in the drumsticks. So, with that being said, that's what the chicken looked like once it's been cleaned and properly prepared. Now, we're going to set this to the side as we make and cut up our vegetables. Now, these are my scallions. Potatoes have already been peeled. I've cut my onions and I got my ginger. So, we're going to cut the scallions up. Cut them up real nice and fine. And we're just going to add them to our mix, our chicken. Now, as that's there, we're going to now take and we're going to grate our ginger. When we take the ginger, we're going to grate it right into the chicken to give it that flavor. Everybody likes ginger. Okay, smell great ginger. We grated our ginger. We're going to do the same thing with the. So you see what it looks like when it grates it. Okay. Now that my onion is grated, I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. I love garlic in it. Like 2 tablespoons. Then we're going to stir it all up and add some seasoning to it. That smells good already. That ginger and that garlic mix it in with those scallions. So get it a good coating of your vegetables. And now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of onion powder. I'm going to add some garlic powder, about the same thing, about 1 tablespoon. Then I'm going to add that good old sage. Now I'm going to blend that all together. And now while that is all blended, I'm going to set it to the side and let it sit for about 15 minutes. That's going to be like a marinade almost. It's going to marinate deep into the meat. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare and cut up my potatoes. As you can see, they've already been peeled. So now I'm just going to cut them up. What I like to do is, if I got 2 pounds of chicken, I'm going to want to use about 2 pounds of potatoes. You can use any type of potato you want. Idaho potato, red potato, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to cut them like this. Just going to cut them up so you get the idea. Last one. That's what they look like when you cut them up. I got a mixture of a couple of Idaho potatoes and a couple of the yellow potatoes. So that's what it looked like when your potatoes are all nice and cut up. And let them sit there and rest a bit to get some of all that starch out of them. And now, we're going to prepare the rest of our vegetables. We're just going to, not too small, not too big, just little chunks. So you got it. They want nice and ready. Just one more time, put it on today. I already wash it, I clean it out real good. Now I'm just going to cut it up. Same way. So you get the idea. At least, I'm going to cut carrots. Some people use carrots, some people don't. I like carrots. Because that provides the vegetables and carrots with a little sweet taste too. You use fresh, you can always cut them in the can. I like using fresh, you use. Those are the vegetables we're going to be using a little bit later on. So in the meantime, we're going to go over here and prepare our frying pan. What we've done is we poured a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. Normally I like to use the virgin olive oil and a little bit of used chicken grease, where you recycle the chicken grease to already have that chicken flavor. But that's what we've used. You can use whatever you want. Vegetable oil, you can use shortening, whatever you have, whatever available to you. So what we're doing is now we're going to let this heat up. Then we're going to put the meat in minus the seasoning. We're going to try to brush a little bit of the seasoning off. A little bit might get in there, but that's okay. But we're going to let the oil get hot. And then we're going to add piece by piece, and then we're going to let it cook until it gets brown on both sides. So we're going to let that cook, and we're going to come back in just a minute. Now that that's nice and hot, we're going to try to brush off as much of the seasoning as we can and add our chicken. If a few pieces of the garlic or the scallions get in, that's okay. But we're going to try to get as little as possible in this particular browning of your meat. You only want meat right now. That's looking good. And cover every little piece. I like to move it around a little bit when I first put it in to make sure it's not sticking. And we're going to let that brown. We're going to come back in a few minutes and show you what it looks like, or how we brown it on both sides. Okay? After about 5 or 6 minutes, we're going to flip it over so we can get that browning on each side. There we go. We're going to do that a couple of times to make sure it's nice and cooked on both sides with a nice brown color. There we go. We want to get to a golden brown. Now while it cooks, some of the fat gonna come off the chicken into the pot, which is what we want. We're gonna use that when we're making our curry or cooking our curry. Very nice. Make sure all your sides are brown and turned over. Okay. I'm gonna let it cook some more for about another 5 minutes. We'll come back and turn it again. Checking on it again. Looks good. Browning. Flip them over again. Now that the meat begins to kind of like separate from the bone, which is a good thing. You don't want them to stick. Sometimes they'll get away from you. You want to keep an eye on them. So we're going to turn them again. Make sure all the sides are nice and brown. Very nice. Now I think we're just about ready. We're going to turn it over just one more time and make sure we're nice and brown. Very nice. Looks good. Smells great. Get all of our pieces turned. And then we're going to start taking them out. Nice. It's a little bit burnt, which is why I like it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, we're going to start taking them out. And we're going to transfer them to another pan. We're going to transfer them over to another pan. I would add some. But right here is where we want to be, right here. You see that? Now, we're going to move that over, and with no heat on, we're going to add the peppers and the rest of the marinade that we had cooked, or cut up and put in there. And we're going to put this in here like this. And we're going to let them cook. Because now we're going to begin to cook our curry. We'll just scrape all the bottom. Let that cook real nice. Get everything off the bottom so it's not sticking. Perfect. So you see what that looks like? Perfect. Make sure nothing's stuck to your bottom, because now we're going to begin to add our heat, and then we're going to add the curry and let that cook. Beautiful. See what that look like? Very nice. Now, after that is cooked a little bit, we're going to turn our heat back on to medium. I'm going to turn the heat back on to medium. And now we're going to add our curry. I like lots of curry. Now when it starts smelling really good in your kitchen. Wow, that smells good. Beautiful. Let it cook. Constantly stirring, because you don't want it to stick. It'll get away from you if you don't watch it. You'll see it starting to thicken up. And that's what you want it to do. See that? Now you got to have your water close by, because we're going to start adding water to it after a while. I'll let that cook a little bit, and I add a little bit more. Now we're good to go. Let it thicken up. Almost like a gravy. See that? Coming along extremely nice. Now, we're going to begin to add our meat back into the pot. Spread it all out so it make it a nice coating on every piece of meat, every square inch, every little morsel. Want to be covered in that nice, delicious curry. There you go. Now let's stir this up. Make sure we get our coating. Now it's beginning to thicken. So we're going to begin to add water. But what you want to do is you want to add the water to the side, not to the actual meat. So, but let me coat that really good for a little bit longer. Boy, that smells good. Wow, that smells good. So as you see, every inch of every piece of meat, every little bit is covered. But the curry is beginning to thicken, so we're going to pull the meat to the side, and we're going to add water. Not too much. We're going to add a little bit at a time. If you pour it directly on the meat, you're going to wash off all of the seasoning and curry. But we're going to add a little bit at a time and stir it up to get your consistency and get yourself a nice mixture. Then we're going to let it cook for a few minutes. We're going to come back. We're going to add some more water. Wow, that is looking delicious and smelling so, so good. We'll let it sit there for a minute, about 5 minutes. We're going to come back and we're going to stir it up and add some more water. Now, let's check on it. Looking very, very good. So we're going to stir it up some more on medium, not too hot, otherwise you're going to burn, but on medium. We're going to add a little bit of more water at this point. And then we're going to add our potatoes. Right now, nice. Very nice. Very nice. Now then, this is where we're going to start adding in our potatoes. Just stick them right there in your water and your nice curry that's cooking. Let's put them all over. We're not going to add any more water from this point. We want our potatoes to cook. We don't want them to be mashed potatoes. We want them to be nice and flavored potatoes. So now you see what it's looking like when you add your potatoes. We'll keep adding those and you'll see what it's going to look like in a minute. That's what it looks like with all the potatoes added. Now, just going to cover it back up for a few minutes, and then we're going to add the rest of our vegetables, the carrots. Now let's see where we're at. Wow, that looks good. So now this is where I add the rest of my vegetables. I like to add my carrots, my green peppers, and my onion. This is where I stir it up. Mix it all in there. Wow, those potatoes look good. And this is why I like to season it up real good. Right here I like to add a little chicken kitchen, the Weber seasoning. My oregano. My sage. And a little bit more of my curry so I can season the vegetables that I put in. Now we're going to let it cook after I stir it up. At this point, If you don't have enough water or gravy, you can add a little bit more water. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'll always pour it to the side. Then I'm going to let it cook for about another 10 minutes. Make sure all the vegetables are soft and cooked. And you're going to have the best curry you ever tasted. Wow, that looks good. Smells great. Very good. We're just gonna let it cook. Put our lid on. Make sure it's on low to medium. Medium, not too high. And we'll check back with it in a few minutes. Here's also, right about 10 minutes before it's completely cooked, I like to add my thyme. I put this stuff on everything. I just put it in there. Because we're going to take it back out. You don't eat the thyme, we just use it for flavoring. And I like to add a little bay leaves. Now you talking about some flavor. Oh my God. Are we gonna stir that in? Mix that in there real good. Make sure it's not sticky. Now you're cooking. I got the whole house smelling really good. And in about 8 to 10 minutes, you're gonna have the best tasting oxtails, the best tasting curry chicken you've ever had in your life. Okay, see you in a few minutes. Now, everything should be ready. One last look, and voila! You have the best curry chicken, the most flavorful, the most delicious you could ever eat. That looks absolutely delicious. And you serve this over a bed of rice. Could be pigeon peas and rice, white rice, yellow rice, whichever one you desire. And I guarantee you, you're going to have everybody singing your praises. Look at that. The meat just falling off the bone. And we're all done. I'm going to cut it off. Just set it to the side. And you are done. This, once again, is your chef, the celebrity chef, Dr. Lenny Moore, in the kitchen once again. And I hope you enjoy this recipe. Be happy to share it with your friends or cook it for your family. And you can follow me at Facebook at Lenny Moore, on Instagram at Lenny J. Moore, and follow me on my website at Dr. Lenny Moore. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.